Yeah, how are you? So good to
Wonderful.
see you.
I know. I'm excited.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, tomorrow I'm actually 33 weeks pregnant. So I'm getting real close.
How did that happen so fast? I know that you've been pregnant for a while, but like it feels like so fast.
I know. You know what's funny? I felt like the second trimester, it was like so slow. And now I'm like, wait, now I'm in the third trimester. And now it's like any moment. It's like, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah. First trimester was agonizing. Second trimester, real slow. And then the third one was like blink.
Exactly. Like, because you know what it is? Like a lot of it, like the second trimester, I'm still like doing my things. I have the energy, just like, living your life. You have a bump, but
it's like a trick.
Yeah. And then like the third trimester, things are happening, like car seats are coming, like you have to prepare. And like, it's just.
That's when he grows the most.
Yes. And oh my God, wait, let's see if you can.
Show
I have
me
a very high table, but I'm pretty big.
You look beautiful. Oh, look at that belly.
So I have a scar from like when I was a little kid, so don't mind that. That's not part of the pregnancy process.
Forgive me, I'm a little sunburned from I did track and field today. Look at my arm.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice it actually until you brought it up.
I was like, why does that hurt? I was like, I sunburned myself.
How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm really good. I have a regimen now, and like the lungs are under control.
Yeah, I
feel really good. Yeah,
good. Oh, it makes me happy. While.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for your birth. Okay, so how this goes is It's like we're just gonna connect. We're gonna talk, and there's no wrong or right. I'm gonna scan you. I'm gonna talk to baby. Is there anything that's really important to you that you want to find out?
Honestly, I've just kind of been enjoying it. I feel like if there's anything that baby wants me to know,
Are you wanting more after this? I know that's not a really strange question. I guess it's already recording, but like,
yeah,
because I see more, and I don't think we've ever discussed more after this, right?
No,
but I see two more. Do you want more babies?
Wait, that's so funny because
Do you want two more?
I wanted, yeah.
I see two more. Two more.
Wow.
I don't. I think
we'll see.
I think that so I see two more babies, and I feel like there might be space. How old are you? You're still very young. You're still like in your 30s, right? Or are you 40?
Yeah. No, I'm 37. I'm yeah, I'm
I think
37.
the next one's going to happen right when you're like 39.
That's so crazy because
that's
what I plan to do. I'm literally
like 39. And then like I feel like there's going to be like a space you're going to really savor and really get your good feeding, like footing in good feeding.
That too.
In motherhood.
Yeah.
Good footing. Like you're going to be like, I feel like you're just going to blossom so well. Like I feel like you're radiant right now. Like you've been having such like not that you're not blossoming already, like, or you're not like in your prime and you've done amazing things, but I feel like this is your best chapter yet.
Does that make sense? Happy. Yes. It's funny that you say that because
I feel like your soul is like, it's just not like, some people say my soul is on fire and they're like really jazzed, but this feels like a more of like a flowy, feminine, sure happiness. Like there's a lot of safety in it, a lot of comfort in it, and it just feels like a river flowing, if that even makes sense. And your spirit guides, are they talking to you? Because they're very present right now.
Oh really? I feel like I've been asking for their presence.
Oh, they're there. I see
amazing.
I see like light greens. I see a lot of birds and I see numbers, but I'm not getting specifics. So I don't know if you're like light greens, like minty. I'm seeing like those kind of colors are flashing in my eyes.
Yes.
So I'm like, that is like, that's what they're giving me. So
it's funny because I feel like lately my heart has just kind of been open, and What I mean by that
Amazing.
is like, I feel like it's just like, I'm just happy to be for me, it's like every day has been like, I'm just really grateful to be in this moment, to have this opportunity. Yeah. More so than ever, like even in this pregnancy, like at this point, I don't know. It's like a calmness, a knowingness. It's like, you know what, no matter what, everything's going to be great.
You're very clean energetically. You're very clean. I feel like also there's a lot of gifts that are coming your way from baby. So I'm not sure, like, have you established a communication with them? Okay. So I feel like they are going to be giving you gifts. I don't know what that looks like, but it feels like material side, like they are working on with the universe to give you something that you are huge, that you're wanting for yourself, but also feels like they are gifting you more spiritual gifts than you had before.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you say that. I don't know how much I kind of want to listen to you, and then I will kind of divulge my
just
feelings.
Let it flow. I work better that way anyway.
Okay.
Unless there's anything you want to find out that I want to know. Like so the energy I'm getting is very like firm, strong, but also not stubborn. They are not stubborn. I also see, so it would be your right side that they are favoring at the bottom of the uterus.
Yes. It's so true.
So when so it's a bottom, like that's their spot.
Yes.
Have they been breached yet?
No.
Because I see a lot of stretching. So make sure that you are.
Yes.
Have you been bouncing? Because I see this up and down motion of like, okay, they love this. They love this.
Yes, it's funny because I'm doing a lot of up and down. Like I was worried because I'm in that phase right now where I'm sleeping and I'm doing like the tilt-a-whirl where I'm turning this way, then I'm turning the other way on the bed, and I was like, is this too much for her? Like, is there too much movement?
No.
And I do a lot of walking too, and I was like, is this too? Am I putting too much stress on my body? But I go to the OB.
You can narrate better though. Like, she's a curious cat. So I would say we're going to turn around the corner. And this is also really great for infants too.
Yes.
Because as long as sometimes at certain ages when babies can't, if you're out of sight, then they freak out. So like if you could like always, I'm coming around the corner, I'll be right there.
Yeah, no, it's so funny that you say that because now in my head, I'm like, I need to start talking to, her name is going to be Penelope. I'm like, I need to start talking to Penny. So like I put music on, I'm like, Penny, like, what do you want to eat today? Like, are you in the mood for tacos?
I was just watching Bridgerton season 3. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
Penny.
And I love that so much. Okay. So for me, have you made up your mind about birth? Because she's like, I don't have a clear picture of birth, but I'm waiting for her to decide. So that I think that she's going to have like certain things in her life. This is going to be very indicative of her style of decision making. There's going to be certain points where she's going to be very passive with, because there's like, it's not her being passive. She just has a neutrality to her on things she doesn't care about. And she's like, you decide. And then there's going to be other times, and when she speaks and make a decision, pay attention.
Okay. That makes sense.
This is a pattern. She's like, this is how I make decisions, and this is how I contribute. She needs to decide, and then I can add my spice or slice. Is like, I can't, she's using both words.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But I feel like this is a very, like, honestly, just knowing you're going to fall in love with your baby. But this spirit, this soul is going to be a person that you're like, I can't get enough of.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so excited to meet her.
Like, it's a warmth of like, oh my God, I want to be best friends with her. Like, I feel it's like that energy. Not all babies have that energy. Some of them are like fast and furious and like, I'm going to come in and disrupt the world. Yeah. Like, I have an agenda. She has no agenda. Like, she's just, I think her word I always get babies. Her word is inspire. I literally have goosebumps. Do you have goosebumps? I have goosebumps everywhere. Her decide what kind of birth you want. It's not too late. It's definitely right on point on time. There's a great lesson with a pregnancy coach, postpartum doula in the module, the spiritual pregnancy reset in the membership.
Yes, I have an idea. I've been talking to my OB about what I'd like to do, and I also I'm really, it's so funny that she's saying that, because I already spoke to my husband, like, we have to go to the hospital. I want to see the ward I'm going to be in. I want to see like the midwives that are on staff at the hospital. Like I'm like in that preparation mode, and it's on my mind. So that's funny that you brought it up, because that is like the next stage.
Okay. The hospital feels good. The doctor feels good. Staff feels good. I don't like if I'm like looking.
Yes.
That's all I got. But everything feels like almost like maybe I don't know if this is true, but maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, things maybe have been disheveled or a little messy. But it's almost like all the files, like I see like these files just like dropping into the drawer, all right in line, in the right folders, in the right place, but not being an exact sequence yet. Like some things are falling into place before for other thing, but everything is falling in sequence and will be in sequence. I hear the words divine timing. Everything is divine timing. So I like how you're allowing things to fall into place. That's the energy that I'm getting from your spirit guides.
Yes.
So it's not like I must do, like you're taking a very feminine approach.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting from your womb, your soul. Great job. Great job.
You know, Caroline, I have to tell you though, and I don't mean to, even as this is a plug, but joining your group
you can plug
away. I'm being honest. I'm being completely honest with you. You helped me get into the mindset of receiving.
Oh my gosh!
And allowing things to happen. I'm being dead honest.
You're gonna make me cry.
And times where I was like, I don't know, I should be doing. And I said, you know what? No. Like I remember, some of the conversations that we've had, and I said, I have to it's okay to let things come to you.
Yes, because they come together better.
Right. They come together better and less stressful. And
oh my God, yes.
That was this is one of the, if I were to say one of the benefits and one of the things that have helped me through this pregnancy is actually get through that mindset. Very hard. Very hard to do. But
it's very hard to just sit, wait, set the intention, trust it's going to happen.
Yes.
Do the aligned action that is appropriate with the thing that you're doing. Maybe the aligned action might be just like making the registry and then seeing what happens. And like not having to rush. Did everyone buy the thing?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's such a strange thing, because in most of my life and in the job that I had, everything was about, I had to control a situation. I had to constantly be on top of it, constantly like type A personality. And I am, but I think for this, I said, this is supposed to be a beautiful experience. And I didn't want the stress of controlling the outcome of every aspect of this pregnancy, even the planning of a baby shower, to ruin, just the love and the feeling of being in this feminine space of pregnancy. And
queen behavior.
Telling you, helped me a lot. Helped me a lot. It really did, honestly.
I'm so glad. You have no idea. I like every time I hear this, I'm just like,
it's so important. And I like when you said it, like struck a chord with me, and I was just like, oh my God, like what happened to us just receiving, just letting things come to us and then ascertaining the direction from there. It just, I don't know, it just something clicked in my brain, and it's been like that since. So I do owe it to you a little. I have to tell you. I have to tell you so.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you got pregnant fairly quickly inside the Make a Baby membership, but
I did.
Can you share with listeners, like, what is so you had pregnancy Reiki, and then like you received Reiki during your pregnancy and before.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference that you felt between those different times?
Yes. So
what is that like for you?
For me, I will say, I don't know. I grew up in Brooklyn, I'm Italian.
I love everything about you. So I love everything. So I want to know, because it's so different. So I think for each person.
Yeah. So naturally, my personality, sometimes I think an East Coast New York City cat, we kind of think of the worst sometimes. Yeah. And I had a personality, especially trying to get pregnant, where I was just like, this isn't working. I have this issue. I had an issue, a medical issue that, and then, I looked at my age. I was like, oh, like things are, and so I was constantly, thinking, unfortunately, of the worst case scenario. It's just one of those things. And for me, I was actually, I was recommended to you by a friend, and that had amazing results as well. And I said, I just want to speak to someone. I don't want to kind of go through this alone in my head, because I felt like I was kind of being my own worst enemy. And I just needed a spiritual alignment in addition to the medical treatment that I was getting for this surgery that I needed. I mean, I'll be frank, I had a polyp that was very large on the opening of my cervix, and it was causing me to not be successful getting pregnant. And so, I had that scenario, but then my mind was very scatterbrained. I didn't feel grounded. I felt like I was just kind of being moved by emotions of fear of not being able to get pregnant. And
it's really scary to face all those things at once.
And again, coming from a person, right, who wants to control everything, success in life is motivated by your actions. Like how this is one scenario where you can't control it, right? So so what happened was, obviously I had that, I think it was either we had our first pregnancy Reiki session, or maybe it was two sessions, and I let you know, and I said, Carolina, I'm going to have I'm going to be having this surgery. And you were so sweet. You did Reiki for me the day of my surgery. And I have to I have to tell you, 4 days after that surgery, I was pregnant. 4 days.
That's the best story I've ever heard in my whole life.
4 days. And when you said it, I said, and you had told me, I think in our first consultation session, you had said to me, oh, I don't feel like the issue with you is medical or biological. I think it's more about you, like your mind. I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But she's like, and you said that I was going to most likely know that I was pregnant that fall. And I was like, but that's crazy. I was like, it's like September. I'm like, how is that possible? And not, literally had the surgery, 4 days later, pregnant.
I have to tell you, sometimes those messages hit, and they just do, as a medium, and
it was crazy.
Sometimes I don't get messages at all.
Yeah, I think every person's different.
It is, and they're how open their guides are, or how open their energy is to let me talk to their guides.
Yes,
but and also the baby.
Yes, sometimes
the baby has to tell me.
Yeah, yes, I totally. And it's funny because I really believe this pregnancy has been so good, no issues, meeting all the milestones, knock on wood, obviously, but we've been so blessed up to this point.
It's gonna go so well too.
I just felt, and it's funny, I felt a peace. Once that happened, I said, you know what, no matter what, I'm learning, this was a major lesson for me emotionally, spiritually. And it was I actually accepted. I said, you know what, if whatever happens, I'm okay. This is God's will. And that aspect of receiving, I will receive another lesson that I'm supposed to have, instead of me being like, I should have did this. And of course you always have to, you can't remove yourself out of the equation. It doesn't mean be reckless. But what I mean is like, from an emotional standpoint, it's like, it's much easier when you do the right thing and you just let things come and you have the patience to be able to step back and be like, the wisdom will be able to be ascertained like later in hindsight.
I just want to give you kudos. Okay, so you use the word patience and step back. So I want to connect this even more. Patience is a feminine emotion. Stepping back is essentially a pause, and that's a feminine action. Not all action is masculine. And waiting, having patience, and stepping back, which is also could be like, I'm not going to talk right now, I'm not going to answer that person or whatever.
Yep.
All of those are feminine, divine feminine energy based. And that comes from having capacity after healing.
Yeah.
So that's what the other side of healing looks like, of like, and also that is a validation of a regulated nervous system.
Yeah.
So kudos for you. And having a regulated nervous system during pregnancy, a spiritual pregnancy on top of that.
I know. I'm telling you, I'm very blessed. And honestly, I was like, you know what?
You did that though, Natalie. You did that.
I know, but you helped me.
I know, but like,
but honestly, I feel
you
like
you didn't have to make the choices. You didn't have to go down that road. And that means also when you're bringing that baby, when you're birthing that baby, that also is, you're like changing the whole lineage of your entire family. Do you realize that?
It's funny that really resonates with me, because
7 generations back, 7 generations forward is like the tail.
Yes.
But also like when, so people may not know this, but scientifically, there is proof that like the emotions have a deep encoding impact on the DNA of the child. And what they go through the mother goes through with her partner and in life deeply impacts natural responses and triggers and things like that. The baby's absorbing and learning all of that in your womb. Can you imagine the blessings that you're going to give to this child? No, but you are. Do you get that?
Funny because like my mother, it was to a point, my mother, she had very tumultuous birthing. And especially to get to me, because I'm a twin. So my mom had like 3 miscarriages.
Oh, I didn't know you were a twin.
Yeah, she doesn't look like me, but my mom had 3 miscarriages before me.
Oh man, that's so rough.
You know, for my mom, me being pregnant was a real source of fear and anxiety.
So, you have to be careful not to take on her projections.
Right. So, and I love and I know my mom is like so excited, but it's just, you can't help it. So it's like, again, like going through these Reiki sessions, like knowing like I need to create boundaries to create an environment for me where that works and allows me to be calm and thrive. And again, not go into that maybe natural inclination. What if it's this? Oh, the baby didn't kick in 3 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this could, it has to be means this. It has to be this. I have to call, I have to check. I have to wreck my brain and be like, think of the worst case scenario. It's like that ended with me. And I kind of set boundaries. Like if the conversation was kind of leaning in that direction, I made sure I was like, okay, now it's time to go on to another topic, because it's like, you know, it is generational. How I feel like that was another lesson too. Like, you know, how your parents experience pregnancy doesn't necessarily mean that you need to experience it the same way. So
I want to commend you. You have such grace, like you explaining, like actively maintaining this relationship with your mom, knowing that she might ultimately trigger you, but you're putting boundaries, but you're also leading in a different, you're like redirecting the conversation so you can continue to have the conversation. I think that I think you're exhibiting grace and compassion in there, and like that seems so effortless. I commend you for that, because in my pregnant self, I didn't have that resiliency or that bandwidth. I was not healed or didn't had approach healing. So for me, it was either we're good, you don't exist, or you're blocked. Like those are my 3 buckets.
I totally understand that. Yeah, I totally understand that. But I think
but you're showing compassion, you know what I mean? Like that I admire that. Thank you for showing that and sharing that, because that's like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. The boundary could be set, but you can also, like, I think that's such a beautiful action to take with family. Thank you for sharing that. I like because even now
I think it could be helpful, because I think
it's super helpful
with so many women that are pregnant, there's so many relationships that get highlighted and accentuated, because now this is a big momentous moment in a daughter's life. And I also, what has helped, it is really spiritual practice, just Reiki, understanding that every person has a life cycle and they're going through their own lessons. And I think what helped me too, especially even in the Reiki session, meeting these other amazing women that are on the same kind of journey as me for motherhood, that you look at people as like humans on on their own life journey. Sometimes it's hard because you're like, oh, she's my mother. My mother's supposed to be this, this, and this. But you're like, actually, if you look at them as a human, right, that's on their own life path, that has their own lessons and their own things that they have to go through, you don't feel as intense emotion of what they're supposed to be. You're like, okay, this is the lesson that they need to go through. Maybe I'm supposed to help them in that, or maybe I'm not, but I still love them. I commend them for what they've given and what they've, the lessons that they've provided me. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I try not to cut the communication. But sometimes I will say, it can't be avoided for some people. Some people, you got to cut that knot.
I love that. I mean, I've been really working on boundaries, recognizing patterns. I'm good at recognizing patterns, but I realized recently, not to, I always share a vulnerable story. I've been working on my relationship with my dad since he died so intensely for 10 years. Before he died, I worked really hard on my mother relationship. And then when he died, I stopped working on my mother relationship. But recently, the triggers that have been coming up for me, like in my business and expanding and things like that, the triggers actually were rooted in my mother wound.
Whoa, that's
and I worked with a healing coach. She does like energy, but she's like a life coach, energy healer, all in one. Super amazing human. And I realized the triggers were all the way back when I was 9 years old. I had that session yesterday. I'm trying to think. I keep thinking today's Friday. It's not. I had it yesterday. It was a 2-hour session. And ever since then, I have no anger. I have no anger. And I was so angry, and I would get triggered. I would get resentful. I would get bitter. And because, healing's like an onion. But I had not healed this really big life event that happened to me in our home at 9 years old. And I was like, and when I started to see my mom as a human, as like this woman that survived so many hard things, and then she had 3 kids, and she was ill-equipped to be a single mom with no support and no child support, but like at a little other, like, of course she was going to have a difficult time. Given all 3 of us are very big personalities. But like, I have so much more compassion. Like it's like a 180 for me between yesterday and today. And I 100% like, I recommend, if you can, lend yourself to see your parent as a human and look at their life and do kind of like a timeline audit of like all the things they endured, survived, and they were able to do. I think it can be really healing. And if you, for me, I couldn't figure out what the source of my bitterness, anger, resentment, and triggers were now at 41 in this recent months.
I know,
I needed help.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean. Yeah.
You need help sometimes. You can't see the blind spots.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like sometimes it's like, sometimes you can, like, what, like for me, I've always been very, very interested spiritually in Reiki and things, but sometimes, you need that push from another guide, like another person to help navigate
100%.
these emotions. Because sometimes you're like, is this like what I'm feeling? Is this true? Like I need,
is this normal?
Is this normal? Like,
yeah,
like I need someone else to help me navigate through it. And I think, we need more of that actually, in my opinion. I think we need a lot of spiritual healing. There's life has been so crazy for so many people. And
I agree.
And I think a lot of it also stems from even pregnancy and trying to get pregnant. It's, a lot of ladies and men have gone through so much and they hold on to so much, and
100%.
Just letting that go is part of that healing process.
I feel a lot of like people who struggle with fertility, they are in the process of discovering their authentic selves and their spiritual awakening. Mm-hmm. And they may not realize that's like the turmoil that they're going through besides the infertility part.
Yes.
I find that, like for me, it was my dad's death. I almost find like the spiritual awakenings are caused by an unfortunate event or something that's painful.
Yes.
That makes you question why do these things exist and why do we do it this way? Mm-hmm. I find that more and more often, like almost probably 7 out of the 10 people I see, mm-hmm. it's the infertility journey is the start of their spiritual awakening or a deepening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And loving yourself.
100%. I did a podcast interview recently on Monday, and I think we released the episode yesterday, and it was Brenda, and she was mentioning in the episode, she pulled out her notes from 2021. We've been working together since then, and she mentioned in the podcast episode, she's like, you told me that my journey was discovering the essence of my soul. And I think that is so true. For me, this journey of a womb healer is discover it's
more than just like, it's more than just getting pregnant. It's
100%.
like,
it's so much more than getting pregnant.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that. And mm-hmm. But if you package it that way, you're going to change your life, go through a huge metamorphosis, and you're going to get a baby, learn how to heal yourself, know what your past lives were for, know what your soul connection contract with your partner. People are never going to do it. Be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is too woo-woo for me. I can't handle that. But it's so true. It's so true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions to connect to baby with? We can pull a couple cards if you're comfortable or wish to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like that? I'm looking for my cards, and they're here to my right.
Yes.
I'm going to shuffle.
I mean, like I said, I've been very easygoing, but if there's any messages for Daddy.
Okay. How is Daddy doing?
Daddy's very excited. We actually we're in our nesting phase right now, and we're getting the room together. And he told me today, I can't wait to hold her. So, and he's like, you're going to have to help me how to hold her. I was like, me too. Or you get those like first baby jitters. Like, am I doing this right? Am I holding the baby?
I know. My friend here gosh, I love her more than my own life. I just love her so big, and her last 2 are Reiki babies. And the last one, when I went over and we got to look at him, I was like, he's so tiny. He's so tiny. And she goes, well, he's almost 7 pounds. I was like, that's a good, and in my mind, like, that's a solid, that's what 7 pounds looks like. Because I haven't been around a lot of babies before.
Yeah.
And now that I'm online, I don't really get to see
a lot of
right in person.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie was 9 pounds
when he was a chunkamunka.
So I didn't know he didn't fit in newborn clothes. Like, so I was like, oh my gosh, I love this story. My husband was laughing hysterically. I was like, that's what a normal baby looks like. Ollie was Hercules when he came out.
Oh my God. I was a twin, so I was early. And I was like 5 pounds. I look like an alien baby. So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's like, I
don't like holding them that small. I want to wait till they're 4 months. And she's like, you want to hold him? I said, no, I love him from here.
Yes.
Because I don't know. There's something about they're so little.
They're so like, fragile. You know, you feel like I don't want to break it. You know, I know.
Let me wait until they have rolls. I'm the best to have them postpartum. You want me to do your laundry? You want me to vacuum? You want me to walk your dog? You hold baby. Do you want me to hold him while you can take a shower?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do that if I have to. But then I asked Ryan if he wanted to hold him. My husband will hold any baby.
Oh,
I remember we were in our birth education class, our birth prep class, and one of the girls went into labor early, and we did our birth prep class really early, but she brought her baby to one of the classes when we were learning about breast pumps and all the jazz. He couldn't wait to hold this baby.
Oh,
couldn't
so
wait.
Sweet.
He's like, do they? I was like, no, not for me, which is so wild. But I am the friend. It's like, I'm more of the, let me support the mom. I hide behind that. It's like, you can hold up. Like, let me get you a sandwich.
I know.
You need water.
Yeah. And then there's like pressure. Like if the baby cries, like in your arms, you're like, I swear I didn't do anything.
They didn't like me. Okay. We're going to pull the cards from your baby that's in your womb. I like this spread. Tell me if you like this. What you need to accept, what you need to embrace, what you need to accept, and what you need to let go right now.
Yes, I like
from
that.
baby. Do you like this?
I do.
And then we'll pull one for Dado.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a strong card. Okay. So what you need to embrace is Paul the Venetian. You need to share your gifts with grace. This means comes up when you need to stop giving so much to others and start receiving more. So I know you've been receiving, but this also confirms that
is the right path.
Yeah, you need to stop overcompensating for people who are not giving enough back to you. So there's also confirmation that waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So if you make room, like for example, imagine that there's only 2 ways in and out of your life, right? And there's only so much capacity of energy to go to and from. If you have so much energy going out, and it might be blocking the energy that needs to come in. So you've gotten really good at receiving, but if you are still compensating for things or people or relationships that are not giving back to you, you could be blocking yourself from receiving from people who could be blessing you.
I see.
So make sure that because it's like, when somebody wants to manifest money, or you have to create space for it. But if it's too busy, you don't have enough space to receive. You might be missing the sign of receipt.
Got it. No, that makes sense.
Okay, so the next 2 cards are upside down. So there's extra emphasis. That means they're extra important. So what this means is what you need to accept is Saint Germain. This is karma releasing. That means you need to be moving beyond the drama. I don't know. This is funny. There's some tea you need to tell me offline later?
Maybe.
So this confirms that whatever is drama or whatever is going on, it's none of your business. Create your own path. Move beyond it. Don't pay attention. Let them figure it out. It literally says make room for good energy. So like these 2 cards next to each other are saying a strong message because it's very similar. One is saying experience grace, share your gifts with grace, like give, but also pay attention who's giving back to you. The first card. The second card is like move beyond the drama, create your own path. So it's like 100% you need to scale back.
Okay.
So because you are blocking what needs to be the good energy that's coming through. So I would do, when's the last time you done a house cleanse?
I don't know, but I should.
Yeah. I would do sound. Like I would turn on YouTube on your TV and I would play like high frequency music while you sage.
Okay.
So sound and sage, or cedar. I like cedar for banishment. You could use incense too. What's some other stuff you can burn? Rose might be really nice to burn in your nursery.
Well, it's funny because my baby's name is Penelope Rose.
Goosebumps again.
It's like, okay, I get it. That is so interesting.
Okay, we're getting the themes here. Okay, yeah. So now what you need to let go of. This is Master Buddha. You need to let go of, like, I don't know if there's a narrative or a line that you're saying where I'm not so connected to myself. You are connected. You need to honor your inner voice and connect inward. Your higher self and your inner voice are wanting to connect. So let go of any doubt and trust you more. So the mantra would be, I trust myself. I make the best decisions for me, my husband, and my baby.
Yes, yes.
And the last card for Daddy-O, this is Freya. This is about phases and cycles. That means with every door that closes, a window opens.
Okay, that really resonates.
Also, when a door closes, this card is also saying that illusions are being revealed, which means like you enter a job or you enter in the job, you're promised a certain salary, culture, and they paint a picture.
Yes.
And then people leave jobs because what that is not, like, something shifted in that reality that they painted and it was false. So that means a truth is being revealed. And that could be with a person, a relationship, or a belief. For me, it feels like people related or business related and people.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So this is good though.
Okay. No, that's
also
good.
I like to identify as like, I think crows are good luck, or this could be a raven. It's not clear. And then the moon. What I like to emphasize with the moon is with every moon cycle, the moon itself really never changes. The perception of the moon can change in its cycle. Remind your husband at the core what people do, say, or share does not define him.
That's
he
very
at
important.
The core of who he is not changed. He might need to remind. I want you to remind him of the goodness inside. That is not changed. That's why I say the moon at the core of it, the moon that's orbiting the earth is the same mass. But it's the way that we see in the sky that changes.
Yes.
So the way that maybe it's the perception of him to others that has changed, but the core of who he is and who you love and that unites this family and that you're building a family with is unchanged.
You know what, also too, it made me think of, because we did the Human by Design, and
You did?
Yeah. He's
what are you in him?
Well, I'm a generator and he's a reflector. So,
really? A reflector is rare.
Yes. And that I looked because that is based off of the moon cycle. Like making decisions is all about, it's very cyclical and phases. So when I saw that, I was like, the first thing that I thought, I was like, oh, okay. Interesting.
Aren't reflectors like 1% of the population?
Yeah. And if you met him.
Yeah, it's 1%. We're Human Design Reflector. I just Googled it. They make up just 1% of the world's population.
Yeah, he's a rare one.
I'm a projector.
Yeah. And that to me makes sense. Honestly.
It totally makes sense, right?
Yeah, yes.
For anyone that's listening, Human Design is like a compilation of 7 different mystical things: Kabbalah, chakra system, astrology, and more. And it is based upon your birth time, your birth date, and your birthplace.
Yeah.
And there's 5 energy types. There's a generator, a manifestor, a manifesting generator. There is a projector. And a reflector. And each of them energy types have different aspects. You get a chart, and just like a chakra, they have centers. And those centers can be open or they can be colored on your chart. If they're colored, that means that particular center is closed. If it is opened, that means it could be influenced by external things. So in other things, like if the bottom right arrow is left, that means you are, when you are manifesting things, you manifest in detail. If it's to the right, it means you are manifesting with less detail and more emotion, and it's very loose details. So like, and I am the one who has less details. I know this. Anyway, I'm a human design fiend.
Yes. That's why I looked at it and I said, oh, okay. And I when I saw that, I was, and like they do talk about the emphasis on like making decisions in cycles. It's not like, you know, some, right, like you said, like some designs you have to, it's more about being given a signal to make a decision, and manifestors are like the only ones that really initiate decision making, whereas the other signs are more about waiting, not necessarily waiting, like, but like doing the work you need to do and then answering a call, like answering a call almost.
So I have to, for my design energy type, I have to wait for the invitation. So I'm never going to DM you if I don't have an established relationship with you. And I'm never going to DM you saying, I feel connected. I want to do a reading. And I want your money. I'm never going to do that. Yeah. So I have to be invited to the invitation to do business. Yeah. I can't be like, initiate, I'll fail miserably.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it's funny because that was another thing that was interesting, because for my sign too, the generator is also about like, it's not really about initiating so much.
It's response.
It's about responding. And again, like that goes along with like my whole spiritual process of, you know, having faith that the message will come for you to respond appropriately for whatever it is that you are asking or inquiring about. And my husband is the same. I think reflectors also similar, but decision making, I'm pretty sure is based off of cyclical or some kind of a phase. But I'd have to triple check. But
they are the most elusive because none of their centers are closed. They mirror.
Yes, they mirror like other people. So like,
yeah, they're also like, I've never met a reflector in person.
Well, it's funny because my husband is a writer. He's a screenplay writer, and like his whole.
It's funny. My husband's a writer too.
Yeah, like his whole thing is like always assessing the world, and incorporating that in his work as like this is how the world is, and I'm, you know, incorporating these kind of these observations through characters, through dialogue.
So interesting.
Like so it was like interesting that and I was like, wow, that totally makes sense, because if you know him, you would
wait until your baby is born and you do their human design.
Oh man,
I did that with Ollie.
I'm excited,
and we're the same. We're almost the same. We are both projectors. So the way once I found that out and I got into human design, and I actually had a human design coach for a while. And
I honestly, I feel like
Kool-Aid. I drank it so bad.
I honestly, I'm so in. I'm like 2 feet in the pool, man. I'm in. Like, this was actually really helpful because, you know, obviously I'm not going to get into it, but besides Penelope coming to our lives, and we're so happy, we're also going through changes as professionals and creative people. And there is an emphasis, like freelance, just the nature of the type of work that you do. There is a constant pressure to make sure
it could be feast or famine in freelancing.
Yeah. So,
and then it's really like it kind of panics, like okay, this is done. I don't have a new contract. Like,
exactly. So it's like we're kind of in that, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and my husband, he's a freelance writer. So it's like, you know, that is something that we are constantly battling, like that give and take, like who's doing this, who's going to account for this, because I would say that the security of like a lawyer or a doctor is not there. You know what I mean? It's more, you know.
I know. So, do a lot of prayer.
a lot of that's prayer. What I'm saying. So it's also
get it as an entrepreneur, 100%.
Yeah. So that's kind of that to me, I feel those cards are really resonating with that particular aspect of life and how that will prepare us for baby coming. And, again, my natural inclination is, being able to schedule, get things done, planning. And sometimes I take a lot on, letting go a little bit and being like, you got this. I can take a step back.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. And thank you for allowing everyone to share a bit of your story and your wisdom and your journey inside the Make a Baby membership. We wish you nothing but a easy, flowing, happy birth and a restorative postpartum. And I know we're not going to be strangers. So
no,
I feel all the good things.
Yes. And I also want to say too, thank you, Caroline. I know I always say that, but I honestly thank you so much. And for anyone listening, it's just been an incredible journey. And I encourage anyone that's listening to at least listen to the podcast or to inquire if you're on a similar journey to motherhood. It's just an amazing community and amazing leader in this community. So
I appreciate that so much. So if you want to join the Make a Baby membership, you can do that. Go to the show notes. There is a link to try out the membership for 3 days free. We teach you how to do Reiki now. We have a private podcast for the membership and a private Telegram group with a vault of meditations and a live call every single month. It is jam-packed and it's only $49 a month. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. I always answer them. And until next time, my friends, let the Reiki flow. Frustrated being told you are fine by your doctor, exhausted from negative pregnancy tests every month, wanting a deeper connection on your fertility journey with your spirit baby? The Make a Baby membership is exactly what you need. Using Reiki will help you connect to your spirit baby, heal the trapped emotions blocking fertility, and support you in our life-changing community. With over 90 Reiki babies, we invite you to try the Make a Baby membership for free. Check it out in the show notes. Let's get you pregnant.